Now, don't be surprised. I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you all. Do not be surprised if you see better scheming, better coaching. Don't be shocked at all if you start to see that. Why? Because the signal has been sent that folks are now coaching for their jobs. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm serious. Like I mean, we all don't have to lie to kick it. But we understand that there's things that have to be said in front of the media where everybody's watching and in the public. But don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Now, let's move on to some of the locker room talk. A few words here from Terry McLaurin.
As players, do you view that as like a reset or a rebuild? How do players kind of see the direction the franchise is taking when they trade to the top defensive players?
We don't really know the mindset behind it, honestly, because they don't tell us the mindset. But, I mean, I just think from the business standpoint, you just know that's always a possibility. You hate to see guys you get a personal relationship with go and move on. But it's not the end of their playing career, so I know we'll be able to see them guys go to a new place and have success. But as far as like reset or all those things, I don't think it's necessarily something that the players talk about.
But are you curious, like, because you're a team captain, you want to win, you're competitive, are you curious as to what direction they're kind of thinking and taking with this?
I mean, I think my focus is just being better than I was last week, to be honest. I can't really focus on what they're doing in the front office, so I just try to focus on what I'm doing on the field and helping my teammates be the best that they can.
Terry, I wonder too, like, you obviously lose a couple starters, a couple good players. What does it tell the locker room? How do you make sure that the locker room doesn't get either down about it or whatever, it doesn't become like an issue or anything?
Well, I think first we're all human, you know what I mean? We all have grown affinity for those two guys that left. They've been here for a while. They've helped us win games. They've been tone setters. Chase was a captain. So from a human standpoint, you're going to miss those guys and their presence from a personal standpoint. But as players, we know that, again, this is a business and things like this happen. So we can't let it trickle into next week. And I know the guys who are stepping up in their roles are excited to get more playing time and show what they can do. And Casey and James have been here for a while, and they've done a good job when they've gotten opportunities. So I definitely expect them to continue to do the same thing.
Text with those guys or reach out at all?
I haven't got the chance to reach out to them yet. I know they've got a lot going on in the past 24 hours, so I'm going to definitely take the time probably before Sunday to reach out to them and just wish them good luck and tell them I'm going to miss them and stuff.
How did you hear about it?
If you have just tuned in, you're watching from the Coaching from the Couch series, the weekly DMV Sports Update. I am your host, CWall, and this is a live Bowie television recording. We've gone through the hot topics this week. We've already covered the Wizards. We're into the Commanders right now. Hit that love button. Keep sharing the show for anybody that wants to join in the live discussion. There's still time because we still have content to share. So I'm going to keep moving this forward. So I'm just going to go ahead and go ahead. If Chase was undisciplined, it wasn't. That report is untrue. And we're gonna leave that there. Untrue. And if he was all you got to do is look. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. If he was that undisciplined, why would John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan want him? There's that. And a couple weeks ago, when asked about Chase Young, Ron Rivera made it clear he's always done everything we've asked him to do. That's what the coaches tell him to do. Do your job. They tell him what to do, and they're just doing what they're being told to do. Sad locker room. Today a little bit better, but out at practice, it was like you could hear a pin drop. Those guys, their presence is absolutely missed. You all have saw me post that one of the things I was interested in seeing was the aftermath. I wanted to know Will you feel that void in the locker room? And absolutely yes. Chase Young and Montez Sweat were forces to be reckoned with in that locker room, on that field, that practice field. As I said on my post, they engaged with every single position group. Everybody. And at the end of that clip that we shared of Terry, what did he say at the end? And I'm going to tell him I miss him. Because I miss him. I was like, whoa, it's so quiet. Everybody's so quiet. They had energy. They had energy with them, and everybody was going to come with that same energy. Everybody was going to come. They was smiling, and this and that. That was not the case on Wednesday. I'm going to tell you the truth. It was not at all. Today was a little bit better. A little bit better, right? It's lightening up. But as somebody shared with me earlier today, a couple of people shared with me, it was, hey, this is a process. It's going to take some time. It's going to take them a little bit. Now, I want to go back to something else that Terry said at the very beginning, and it was they don't tell us the mindset. Let's talk about that. Because I started talking about communication. You all have heard me talk several times on this show about the message and the messenger and what's being said and what's not being said that should be said. And here's the thing. If everybody's been hearing, we believe in this team right now, we know we can go far. Do your job. This doesn't imply that Chase and Montez didn't do their job. And then you heard Terry say, hey, listen, I'm just trying to be better than I was last week. And yes, because you dropped 2 passes last week. I'm just being real. Everybody knows I am about Terry, but let's just be for real. Because if you see someone get traded who has been playing at the level that they have been playing, and they got traded again, it's not a demotion. They're going in other places and will be utilized accordingly, right? You heard going back to Jack Del Rio and Jack, and hey, but he said about Chase, he's a great young man. I mean, what you going to say? You traded his assets away. He didn't have nothing to do with it. He didn't want, this is what it is. But you can't keep saying things, then you do things, and you don't tell your players who you just said, I believe in this team right now. This is what we can do. We got our quarterback. We got our offensive coordinator. We got our ball hawking cornerbacks. We going to go out here and do this. Now I'm going to focus on that because let me be clear. I absolutely understood what the owners have done. I absolutely understood it. I understood it because I understand bottom line. Bottom line, you're 3-5. It's the trade deadline. There's assets on this team that other teams want. Trade them. Ownership, that's just ownership one-on-one. 3-5. You've gone down 3 games in the division. What you going to do now? Get them out of here. They don't have no ties to them. What difference does it make to them? It's get something out of it. I understand that, but there's still an obligation, in my opinion, to share with the players what is going on. Or they don't tell us a mindset. At the end of the day, we know that it's a business, so we just, everybody gonna act like. So everybody just supposed to act like they're gone, and they just. I'm going to go back to what Terry said, and that was, I'm going to tell, I know they've been through a lot in the last 24 hours. I'm going to text them before Sunday and let them know. Wish them luck and let them know I miss them. So anybody that's got anything to say, just go ahead and share this show. Let it be known. Tag them in the post. This isn't some see you wouldn't want to be you. There's clearly a disconnect in where these guys played a huge role in the every single day habits and practice time with their teammates. When I come on this show and I tell you all that they are brothers and they love each other and they're going to have each other's back and all of those things on the social media, everything, they see the negativity. They talk about it. They do. And they are, I told y'all. That's what it is. The same. And here's the other thing. And then I'm going to switch over to video of Casey Hill and James Smith-Williams, the new Montez and Chase Young, I suppose. The locker room and culture that Ron Rivera has worked so hard to build. What is going to happen to it? Because when you're not communicating the mindset as leaders, communicating, because see, here's the thing. If you communicating the mindset accurately at the beginning of the season, this is what we're here to do. We're here to win at least 12 games. We're here to win at least 10. We're here to win the division. We're here to get to the playoffs. We're here to get to Super Bowl. And everybody understands that, then it shouldn't be a surprise. You could be a little sad, but not a whole lot of sad, because you already understand when the trade deadline comes up, whoever the most valuable assets are, chances are you're out of here, depending on the situation. Everybody should understand. It doesn't have to be warm and fuzzy messaging all the time. But it is a lot of warm and fuzzy. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. And then you go ahead and trade 2 starters, a Montez Sweat and a Chase Young. And then you don't explain to anybody the mindset behind it. Okay. You didn't tell nobody. Because what are we supposed to win now still? And somebody on this chat understands what I'm talking about. In leadership, in organization, that's exactly what it is. So you do something and shake it up, and people don't know whether to be scared, cry. What just happened? I thought y'all said we was gonna win 9 straight. We ain't not winning 9 straight no more. It was already far-fetched, but do you think we can win 9 straight still, or we're just gonna wait till the new guys get here next year? Communication matters. It matters. It matters. It is a part of leadership. It is a part of who you are supposed to be as a leader, is be able to communicate even when the message hurts and when it's tough. So, next up, video from Casey Hill and James Smith-Williams.
I'm sure it's bittersweet because they were teammates, but also now you and James Smith get more reps, playing time. How excited are you for this opportunity?
Yeah, it's always exciting, but I think you just really can't focus too much on that, right? I don't think, like I said, much changes. I don't think my preparation changes whether I was playing, 10 reps or if I'm playing 30 or 40, whatever it is. So just, keeping that same mindset, just enjoying every day here, and just preparing the best I can, and that's all I'm focusing on.
Okay, so you guys did, when you guys had to play a couple years ago, you guys did a pretty good job, and the defense did a really good job. Where do you feel you're a different player even from that? I
don't want to speak for James as well, but I think we're both better players, more experience, played a lot more games. I think we're just, been in the system longer. I think we're better all around. So I don't know what that's going to result in, but I think we just have we both have a lot of confidence in ourselves that we're going to do the job to the absolute best of our ability.
Casey, what was just your reaction when you first heard the news that both Chase and Montez were going?
Yeah, I was surprised. I think everyone was, right? I didn't have any inside information. I think, they didn't know, we didn't know. So very surprising. And also, it's sad, like I said, because I really respected and liked those guys a lot. But at the end of the day, it's just, that's what's so challenging about being in this business, and it's unlike anything else, right? That can happen at a moment's notice. So, yeah, very surprised, but then just had to lock back in for the week.
Is it a little weird just here in the locker room looking around?
Yeah, it's definitely weird not having them in meetings. I think it'd be, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't odd at first. But, really, you see that. Maybe it's odd for a second, but then we just have to focus because we got an important game coming up. We have 9 games left in the season, right? So really got to just lock in on this week and take them one at a time. I think I just on my phone or something. I think on mine. I think it was just something.
It says still in Chicago, maybe you got the conversation as you guys were walking the walkthrough.
I didn't see any of that. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure he did. I didn't see that, and then I just heard the news kind of from him, and then I heard about him, and then I heard the same thing when I was back home about Chase. So, yeah.
Does this take like a mindset shift for you at all?
No, I think if you're thinking about mindset shifts, you're thinking about the wrong way. Like, obviously, there's definitely different responsibilities and more reps come like different, ways that maybe you need to take better care of your body. There's definitely like an aspect of it that you have to focus on, but for the most part, like if you're not preparing to play and you're not preparing to have to be thrown in there, then you're not preparing the right way. So I think I prepared that way thus far, so I'm going to keep doing that.
Does it feel more important because this would be a bigger role in it's a contract year for you?
Sure. I mean, there's all these extraneous things that I think you can focus on, but like for me, if your attention's there and it's not on what you're doing in the present, then you're really just, hurting yourself and hurting the team. So take them one at a time. I mean, regardless of contract year or not, and then see what happens when it all sorts out. Yep.
Do you lean on Jonathan and them at all?
I mean, they've always been great leaders, right? John's a great friend of mine, but also like, having James, we're close friends. We played a lot together. Everyone in the room, like we have a great room, even though we lost 2 great guys. So lean on each other, lean on the defense, and then go from there.
So appreciate it.
Yep.
It's like kind of the same thing at the cut down day in camp. We come in and it's like, oh, whoa. So it's a similar vibe for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It's different.
Yeah, of course.
When you get down to the final 53, there's a certainty that, okay, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
But then you have a trade deadline, which is like, I'm going to have to move everything.
Yeah.
And just wondering how, as people, we deal with that kind of uncertainty.
I mean, it's tough.
If you have just tuned in, you're watching from the Coaching from the Couch series, the weekly DMV sports update, and I am your host, CWall. This is a live Bowie television recording, and there's still time to still share this show with your DMV sports loving family and friends. We've gone through the Wizards, we're on to the Commanders, and I want to address a comment I saw in the chat, and I saw you all chatting it up. This is the beauty sometimes of doing live discussions, right? I saw a question from Terrence Taylor. How are you doing? Love button. Shout out to you that says, why basically would you want to involve football players in a front office decision? I want to make sure I'm being very clear. And that is, it's not getting their concurrence. It's not saying, or a consensus, or saying, do you agree, disagree? It's part of your decision. You are part of the decision-making process. But as a leader, you are obligated to share with your staff what the vision is. So what is the vision now? Is it still, you think we're going to win 9 straight? Are you still saying that we're going off into the playoffs? Was there ever anything communicated that said we needed to win at least 10 games? We need to win at least 12? 5 is your mark for this year because we already know it's a rebuild year because we're focusing on our growth for Sam. Yes, as a leader, you should let him know. You just traded a captain. Chase Young was one of the captains of the team. So, yeah, everybody understands that it's a business, but there still needs to be a conversation that has got to be had to say, and this is how we're moving forward. This is what needs to happen. This is what our expectations are. You may have been shocked or surprised by this message, and you may have been shocked or surprised by these moves. This is how the rest of this season is going to go. Because at this point in time, one thing is for sure, and 2 things is for certain. Winning with the team that they had, which is a repeated message that they've shared with the players, is not true. So you clearly don't believe that. You made another decision. That's fine. They don't have to be involved with the decision. But when things like that are made with just not 1, but 2 players, one being a captain of the team, yes, I absolutely believe that you should inform your team of the vision. That's all. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I'm glad now that I had an opportunity to break that down to you. And I appreciate my brother in sports media, DJ Bland, also letting you know, all of us in media, us credentialed media folks, we all not like that. You know what I'm saying? We're not. We're here to do a good job. We're here to be advocates for all of the above. Now, if something ain't right, something ain't right. We're going to call that out too. And that's something I love to do on my show. I'm going to call out when stuff not adding up because I want it to add up. And I'm here to tell you, I will be the first person to tell you, this is not at all what I expected to happen at this point. If you would have told me in the middle of August, the team was going to be 3-5 heading into the trade deadline, they would have lost to the Giants and 2 times to the Eagles, lost in that dismal way to the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football. If you would have told me that and traded Montez and Chase Young, I would have said, please get out of my office. Get out of my office. You don't even need to be in here. So this is shocking. This is shocking. This is shocking. And that's one of the things that I shared on the reaction show. Terrence, I hope you come back and continue to watch more of these shows and be a part of this Bowie Television CWall family, because I'm here to tell you, I was actually excited for the first time in a very long time about this season. And this is a shock. And I see what DJ, I didn't expect it at all. This is a real shock right here, buddy. Whoa. Now let's listen in. Shout out to John Keim of ESPN. My phone wasn't working properly to get the recording for the Logan Thomas media scrum. So John Keim sent me the one that he captured. Let's take a listen to Logan Thomas and what he had to say today about the trades. And then, of course, moving forward to focus on the New England Patriots, because like I said at the top of this, you all, they still got games to play.
For us, we just got to bounce, the next 2 guys up, tell them to go play, and they'll do a good job. I mean, we've been in that position before, and it's the exact same 2 guys, so I would expect them to play well.
Were you surprised by the news?
No, I mean, I think the chatter got out way before. I was surprised it was both, to be honest, but I'm happy that we got guys that are going to get opportunities, and I'm happy for them to get a new opportunity as well and make the best out of that.
Big challenge this week going up to New England, facing a Belichick defense. His record against first-year starting quarterbacks is crazy in their advantage. Is that just because the Pats have been good, or he does something specific to slow down younger guys?
There's a little bit of both. They've been good for a lot of years, but at the same time, he's very good at what he does on defense and giving multiple looks. And a lot of it is the personnel they play. They play safeties at linebacker. They play safeties at corner. They play linebackers in weird positions sometimes, and all the doubles and chips and all the stuff they do on defense is different. So yeah, it's I think it's a little bit of both.
You think Sam's ready for that?
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's a competitor. He's been doing a good job this week of knowing where to go with the football when they do give us those looks.
When they give you those kind of different looks, how does that mess with your rules on offense and what you guys have to do up front and just some blocking schemes?
It's rules. At the end of the day, you go back to spots, not people sometimes, and this is kind of how you got to treat it. And at the end of the day, their safeties got to play like safeties, and you know who their bigger safeties are that are going to be in the box, or who their safeties are that are going to cover.
It seems like Sam's been getting the ball out quickly. Do you notice that as a pass catcher? Has it kind of changed your internal timing as you're running your rounds?
Yeah, I mean, definitely when he goes through read 1, read 2, he knows to get to the check down and keep the chains moving instead of holding the ball and putting things in jeopardy. So yeah, last week he did a really good job of it, and I would expect him to keep progressing in that area. Obviously when he plays down the field too, but when they're not there, checking it down is good.
We've seen you take a couple of big hits this year. You had the one last year that ended up with the fine. Does there need to be more protection for receivers? Does there need to be something broader for tight ends?
I grew up watching this game old school, man, so I guess the new stuff is good for the health and safety of the game, but I remember when people's heads get taken off, they evaluate them for concussion. It's not really throwing back out there. So I think that's a big reason why we play this game is the physicality and what it brings. And, obviously I had the concussion this year. Don't want it to happen again. But we know what we signed up for when we play this game.
Is there like a certain number of hurdles you have to get to hit a bonus or anything like that?
Look at my contract. No, it's not in there. I'm just thankful I was successful with this one because I've had many unsuccessful ones.
When you're jumping like that, does anything go through your head, or you're like, I hope nobody's coming over here, or what's?
Well, you really only want to do it when you know your surroundings. So in that one, I knew that I had an ability to get over, and then the hit I was going to take was just going to push me out of bounds or put me down. The scariest part is just if your feet get clipped, obviously. I've seen it before, but yeah, when I was in the air, I was like, that was probably not smart, but it was successful, so we'll take it.
Do you practice it? Do you practice it?
Heck no.
Okay.
So again, If you all follow John Keim of ESPN, longtime Commanders beat reporter, tell him that CWall said thanks again for shooting that audio over to me from the Logan Thomas scrum. Last thing I'll say on the Montez Sweat and Chase Young trades. In terms of my overall evaluation of actually picks, I said this earlier. Yeah, I think that was great. That was decent, good, solid value for them. We won't really know the value until the picks are made and they're playing on the field. We really, really won't know truly how to evaluate it until the picks are made and they are playing on the field. Also, if I didn't say it the other day, let me say it now. Best wishes to Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Chase Young will be back in December as a San Francisco 49er playing at FedEx Field. So best of luck to both of them. And I'm sure I'll be talking about that game once December comes back around. So for those who are still watching, any bold predictions for the Commanders versus the New England Patriots game? We got to move on before we close out. Any bold predictions? Any at all? Will they win? I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some better coaching and a whole lot of better everything after this week. Who knows? There could be some surprises. I don't think the team is going to completely fold, but I don't know either. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if there's any bold predictions. And Terrence Taylor's got one. I think, and here we go. You got to do the good. You got to do the positive ones and the negative ones. Commanders get blown out, right? Well, and even Mama Waller. Have y'all said hello to my mom? That is my mother right there. She gets into football and sports now too, all because of me. 31-27 Commanders. Listen, they can use a win right now. They can use a win. You all, thank you so much for tuning in. And there's still time to share this show with your DMV sports loving family and friends. It's always a pleasure sharing with you all the latest and greatest and hot topic news for discussion in the DMV area. I appreciate you all hanging out with me as long as you do on a Thursday night. I'll be back on live on Monday night for the Washington Commanders update, recapping everything going down in Boston. You all don't let me forget that I got a flight going to Boston early Saturday morning because JP Finlay and Donna Hopkins, shout out to them too, were asking me questions about when I was leaving. And I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to Boston this weekend. So you all be blessed, enjoy, stay safe. And I'm going to be talking to you guys again soon.